Hey everybody, let's finish this homework and see how you did. Check your answers or get help on the ones you got stuck on if you did not have time to go see your teacher during afternoon Zoom yesterday. All right? All right, when we left off on this first one, all you had to do, I set you up pretty good, I think, on this one. You had the magic one happening, right? And you just had to finish up. So if 3 times 6 equals 18, and this is a 1, a 6 has to be on top, right? Same thing on the top and the bottom. That's what makes it one whole, okay? And then I got to go 5 times 6. So 5/3 is the same as, is equivalent to 30/18, all right? On this one, we had 20, and we had 5, and that equals 100, right? 20 times 5 is 100. There's a 5 on the bottom, 5 is on top. 9 times 5, 45. 9 over 20 is the same as 45 over 100. Okay, 2863. This was backwards, right? We were simplifying, and we figured out that 4 times 7 equals 28. So if there's a 7 on top, 7 has to be on the bottom. And then 63 divided by 7, right? Because what times 7 is 63? That's 9. So 4/9 is the same as 28/63. All right, we were trying to figure out who went farther when they ran, right? And we were talking about Rachel and Beth. And Rachel had run 115 yards. And there were 2 ways of figuring this out. We figured out we could do 115 yards. Every yard is 3 feet. So I go multiply. And that's 345 feet. And Beth had run 327 feet, so that's less, right? Now, we also figured out we could do 327 divided by 3, and you end up with 109 yards. So 109 yards is less than 115 yards. 345 feet is more, greater than 327 feet. So Rachel's distance is greater than Beth. And I don't like this as much as seeing the numbers. You know, I want to see 115 is greater than 109. I want to see 115 yards is greater than 327 feet, right? Any way you want to do it. I like the greater than, less than. I like the numbers on both sides, because every time you look at that, you get a little bit smarter, right? Now the next one, the 313, that's 314, sorry. This was the one where you wanted to discuss, you know, which team had taller players, which team had a wider range. And the Tigers, because that graph goes up higher, fools a lot of people into thinking, oh, the Tigers have taller players. Remember what the taller players means, though. That means they have a taller height. That's going to have more numbers over here on the end, right? And it turns out that the Panthers actually have 2 players that are over 78 inches, or 78 inches or taller, and they have 3 more that are over 75 inches. And the Tigers only have 4 players total that are 75 inches or taller, because they have 3 that are between 75 and 78, and only 1 between 70. Okay, so I would say that the Panthers actually have taller players, more spread out. Yeah, I don't know. These are kind of spread out kind of evenly, right? You got 1, you got 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, right? Where here you got 1, you got 0, you got 2, you got 5. So yeah, these are more evenly. These are kind of Jekyll and Hyde, right? You got some tall ones, you got some short ones, you got a bunch in the middle, right? So on to the next one, okay? And some people can argue, well, you know what? This team only had 1 player less than 69 inches. This team had 4 players less than 69 inches, so these must be taller. Yeah, they're all in the middle, right? So this is one of those questions. I love the discussion. I love hearing and reading about your arguments. Make sure you have explained something there so I can read what your thinking was, okay? If it says explain, you don't skip that. All right, that's an important part, especially with the testing, the way they test now, okay? All right, so what is the perimeter of this? 725 plus 8 plus 7.2. We set that problem up. Remember, we lined up the decimal and everything. All right, that was important, and it looks like there's going to be a 5 here, a 4 here, and a 14 and 8, 22. So 22.45 centimeters is the perimeter of that triangle. The area of this rectangle, the shortcut was, I got 7 rows of 4, so 28 square units on the rectangle. This rectangle, the perimeter is 2 plus 8. That gets me halfway around. Since that's a nice even 10, it's easy to get the rest of the way. Is another 10, 20 inches. And then the area, remember, you just multiply the length times the width. 2 times 8 is 16 square inches. Okay? So, easy enough. On to 315. And 315, did I do on another page? Where is that? 315, write down at least 3 different pairs of numbers that add together to get 1. Oh, okay. We can totally skip that one, didn't we? 316. And that was 315. Okay, 314 there. 316, 3 pairs of number to add together to equal 1. Well, I'm going to want the same number on the top as the bottom. So if I say 3 sevenths, how many more sevenths will equal 1 whole? 3 sevenths plus 4 more sevenths gives me a total of 7 sevenths. Okay? 5 eighths plus how many more eighths is going to equal 8 eighths, which is 1 whole. Well, 5 eighths plus 3 eighths, that works. How about 99 hundredths plus 1 hundredth equals 100 hundredths, right? There's infinite possibilities. Hopefully you were able to figure that out. Sorry for skipping that, man. All right, 317, distributive property. We kind of did that for you, didn't we? Okay, right? This was the distributive property here. I did say here, go figure out the total answer, and I probably challenged you to check it with a standard algorithm. 8, 10, 7. So 3,708. And let's go double check. This was 309 times 12. 618, move it over once. 309, 8, 10, 7, and 3, 3,708. Boom. All right. All right. Distributive property of this, we already got that. What was the total here? 800 plus 80 plus 8s. Boom, boom, boom. 3 snowmen in a row, right? All right. If 5 notebooks cost $5.25, how much is 3? Well, the easiest way to figure this out is figure out what's called the rate. How much per one? Okay. And I told you to divide that. 5 goes into 5 one time. Okay, bring down the 2. Now 5 won't fit into 2, so I got to put a 0 there, right? And then the 2, and then the 5. So it looks like each one is $1.05. So 3 times $1.05 is $3.03. $3.15. You could have come over here and multiplied to get that as well. Okay. Now this cool question here about you got those 5 different times, and what would you use for a time to say how long it takes to get ready before you take the bus? Well, some people just say, okay, well, I'm going to put these in order. There's a 10, 11, another 11. And if we were talking about the one number to represent those, that's kind of what an average is. Okay? So you could say, well, there's 2 11s, and the 11 is the middle number. So the 11 is both the median and the mode, right, for that group. If you wanted to get the average, what do they usually mean? They mean the mean. So you got to add all those up. Now I got 5 10s, that's 50. 51, 52, plus 3 more is 55, plus 5 more is 60. 60 divided by 5, that's on the clock. That's 12. So 12 would be a good number to represent those. Okay, either way. Now that last part, though, it says if he wants to make sure he's not late, what time should he be getting there? Well, if the longest one took 15 minutes, okay, my dad used to like to say, if you're not early, you're late. Okay, so you might say, let's leave 16. Make sure you leave it 16 minutes before 8, which is 7:44. right? A lot of people are going to say, make sure you're ready by 7:45. Give yourself 15 minutes, and you got a minute to spare, right? But what if oh yeah, if it depends on how important it is to you, right? And that's why some people get mad if you're late if they have to wait for you, because they think that you're saying that they aren't important. Okay, so always try to show up on time if you can. Okay. All right, on to the dots. We figured out the pattern. 1 is 4, 2 is 6, and excuse me, it was one more row. Each time it's going up by 2. So I could say this is 2 times x, but 2 times x is 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6. I'm still off by 2, so 2 times x plus 2. Or some people say if you add 1, then multiply it by 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, times 2 is 4. 2 plus 1 is 3, times 2 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4, times 2 is 8, right? So that's the wild card though, right? So you can have 2x plus 1 or plus 2 or x plus 1 doubled. And why do both these work? Here's something that's kind of cool. You're going to learn this in algebra later. 2x plus 2 equals 2 times x plus 1. And the other thing you're going to recognize is this was a previous problem, kind of distributive property. 2 times x plus 2 times 1, boom. Distributive property is shown in this one. Okay, so let's go to those hard ones. How many dots will be in a 50th figure? Well, once I know this, I don't have to do 1 through 49. I just say, okay, 2 times 50 plus 2. 2 times 50 is 100 plus 2. So the 50th figure equals 102 dots. Boom. How easy was that? Once you figure that out, that's the secret. Figuring that out is the hard part though, right? All right. All right, and the last one, is there a figure that will have exactly 38 dots? Well, now I'm moving backwards, okay? So 38 minus 2 is 36, and 2 times what equals 36? Boom, 18. 8, right? Because 36 divided by 2 equals 18. 2 goes into 16 8 times, right? So 18 dots on that one, okay? All right, last one was you were figuring out how far Stacy walks in one trip, and that's the perimeter. So 80 plus 80 plus 115 plus 115. 115 and 115 is 230. 80 and 80 is 160. So she walks 390 yards on one trip. That's A, right? Drawing the picture was A. Okay. And then so if Stacy walks around it 4 times each time she exercises, how much does she do in a week? Well, I got to go 4 times 390. And that's each time she exercises, right? So that's each exercise. Each is an important word. Time she exercises. Please write neater than me. How much she goes 3 times a week, it says. Okay, that's important to know. 3 times a week. So 3 times a week and this far each time. 1560 times 3, 18, 15 and 1 is 16, 3 and 1 is 4, and this is per week, right? And then the next question is the additional challenge. A mile is 1,760 yards. How many miles does she go in each week? So I have to go how many 1,760s go into 4,680s, and I know 3 times 17 is 51, so I'm going to say 2 times on this. 1, and I subtract, and then I can either use this to go up top, 2 and 1,160, 1,760s, and I can simplify this. 10 goes into the top and bottom. 116 over 176. Both those are even. So 2 goes into the top. 58 times goes into the bottom. 85, 88 times. 2 goes into the top and bottom again. This time 29 times. That's the fraction. 2 and 29/44. That's more than half. More than 2.5 miles. Not bad. Not bad. All right, you guys. Hopefully you got all these right, and hopefully if you didn't, this was helpful to you in figuring out how to get the ones you didn't get right. Okay? This was a long one. All right. Tomorrow will be easier.